So I've had a lot of people asking me what the hell our restaurant's going to look now that we're reopening. Let's get into it. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
Alright, so before I get into it, any comments, questions, or suggestions, as always, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram or at SuperDario_World. I'm going to keep this one kind of a quick one, because honestly, I've been really delayed on everything today. I mean, everything. Everything. It's weird. I don't know why. I just passed out today. Well, I do know why. Yesterday, well, let's just get into it. I don't even know what I'm explaining it. Also, like my Facebook page, Super Dario World. I put up the links to all my other podcasts there as well, if you want to check those out. I do one Spanish podcast a week. I usually do it on Saturdays. And once or twice a week, I have another podcast with my kid brother called Super Dario Brothers. You can find them everywhere, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, everywhere. But the easiest place for you to find it, I put the links to everything on the Facebook page. So, keeping everything together, easy for you. So let's get into this. For those of you who don't know, I work at a radio station, and my second job, which I call my job for my fun money, is I'm a bartender at a restaurant. So, since the lockdown has started, I had not been to the restaurant at all. It's 2 months. Well, I did stop by to get some food and, to see how my friends are doing. But I really hadn't worked there for a couple months. And now we just got the green light that the restaurant's going to be reopening. And I actually ended up doing my first shift there where it's a to-go. So, the very last day where we're doing to-goes at night is the shift that I got, which is pretty interesting, honestly. And it made me hopeful for how things are going to go post-pandemic. What will it be, Phase 3? Right now we're in Phase 2.5. So when we reach Phase 3 here in California, I'm pretty hopeful to how the economy is going to recover. Because we had a lot of people stop by to get some food. And honestly, the thing that shocked me is that the tips were actually pretty generous. So, and usually you can tell how people are doing depending on how they tip. And so if it was a consistent thing of really honestly generous tips. So it's like, okay, apparently people aren't really hurting for money, which means that as soon as things open up, this might lead to a swift recovery. Also, I've been seeing a whole bunch of news on that the economy is looking like it's going to be a V-shaped recovery. So honestly, if you wanna invest in stocks right now, would be a really good time because you can get them cheap, and if they recover quickly, you might make a few bucks there. I've saved up my the money that the government gave me. I'm blanking out on the name right now because I'm tired and I want to go to bed. But no, it's not an incentive. What the fuck was the name of that thing? Anyway, point is I saved it, so I might just invest it. We'll see. I don't know. I need to find something good to invest in first. Anyway, what the hell am I even talking about anymore? Yeah. So, restaurants. Since I work at the restaurant business and I had the meeting, I had a lot of people ask me like, "Hey, how's it gonna go? Like, how is it gonna look? What's the restaurant industry going to look? How's it going to change? What things are going to be different?" And I mean, it was mostly people who I know, like coworkers and stuff, who asked me that stuff, like at the radio station, and also some friends. And here's what we learned. Now, I need to clarify this. I need to be very specific about this. This is only how we're going to do it at the restaurant that I work in. I don't know how the restaurants are going to do it, but I'm assuming they're going to be following a similar playbook. It's going to be similar for everybody. And so here's how it goes. The restaurant officially opened today and it's only dinner. So lunch is still going to be to-goes, but for dinner it officially opened up. And here's how it's going to work. First off, half of the tables are taped down, meaning that you can't sit on them. So if you have every other booth is open. So one booth for sitting, one booth closed. One booth for sitting, one booth closed. Patios are going to be opened up, and we actually moved some extra tables to another area outside that is still owned by the company, so it's going to be more patio seating because, as it's been reported before, being outside is actually good for you. So, less seating inside, more seating outside. That's one thing. In general, locking down certain areas, and for example, bars. Now, you're not going to be allowed to sit in the bar area because technically bars are not allowed to be open yet. Restaurants are fine. Bars, not allowed to be open yet. So, if you end up going to any place to buy booze, you can still do it. You can just not sit in the bar area, and you have to order food. That why? I don't know. I mean, I think alcohol cleans stuff or whatever. But anywhere you want to go, they have to order some kind of food. Now, certain places are kind of finding a way around that, like certain breweries. Just if there's a place that sells food that's attached to them or something or nearby, they just charge you a penny for food, and that's the way they can get around it. I'm not exactly sure how it works, honestly, because we don't really encounter that situation because the place I work in, we do have food and we do have alcohol, so we're not dealing with that issue. However, people are very clever. One of my favorite stories, I don't know if this is real or not. I hope it's real because I find it really funny. I once read an article about a dude who was selling sandwiches out of his dorm on campus, let's say $5 a sandwich to make extra money. And the campus was like, you don't have a food selling license. You can't do that. So they shut him down. And so what the guy started doing is that he started selling napkins for $5. And with the purchase of every napkin, you got a free sandwich. So there's ways around everything, man. And humans are pretty clever. And so more breweries are opening up. More bars are going to be opening up. The rules are just going to vary from place to place. But good news all around. Opening up. Good for the economy. And apparently, the economy is still very healthy. It's still fundamentally sound. And I just checked ZipRecruiter. There's a lot of places that are hiring. So honestly, get on that quick. If you got laid off, get on that quick. You do not want to be without a job after the unemployment thing is over, because it's going to be probably pretty bad. Anyway, let's continue here. So that's certain areas are going to be closed, like I said, like bars. And apparently servers aren't really going to be a thing for a little bit. So what we're doing is it's kind of like counter service. So when you get there, you go to where the hostess is and you put your order in there. We'll give you a number. You take that number to your table and we'll bring the food to you. Very similar thing for drinks. Now, I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I haven't worked an actual shift, but I'm assuming they're going to have to go to the bar area and you just bring the drink to them. I'm assuming that's going to work. Now, they're trying to keep everything as separated as possible. Before I was a bartender, so I would serve drinks. I'd run them if I want to. I also take orders for certain tables, and so I would go to the kitchen. I would bring them food. I'd also clear off the tables, bring it to the back. Now things are going to be pretty separate because they don't want unnecessary people touching unnecessary things. So right now it's going to be, all right, bartender only touches drink stuff. And I mean all the drink stuff, only the bartender gets to do it, okay? Nobody else is going to be touching anything that is drink related, except the busser who's going to be cleaning up the stuff afterwards. Only one person is going to be running food. Only one person is going to be touching the money, stuff like that. So they're going to be trying to keep things as separate as possible. We'll see how it works out. Sometimes it's very difficult, especially when you're used to doing something in a certain pace. Like I've been working there for a really long time. I like doing everything. I'm kind of a control freak, and you kind of get a rhythm into things. But it sounds like coming back to restaurants, it means less interaction with servers, which honestly I don't mind. I've always said this. I don't know if I'm a great server or a terrible server. I think I do okay, because to me, whenever I go to a restaurant, I don't go to the restaurant to speak to a fucking server. I go to the restaurant to speak with the person that I go to the restaurant with. That's the person that I'm there to hang out with. That's the person who I care about talking to. I don't care about talking to the server. When a server starts trying to tell me jokes or tell me the story of their fucking life, it drives me nuts because I don't care. But you try to be polite because that person is going to be handling your food, and you don't want to piss off the people who handle your food. So you sit there, you nod politely, like, okay, thank you very much, whatever. But in the back of your mind, you're like, please shut up, or just go get me my food, or answer the question that I have about the food, and that's it. That's all I need from you. That's it. But that's just me. And so since that's the way I look at it when I'm at a restaurant, that's the way I assume most people go to restaurants. So when I go and take your order, I'm basically a robot. It's like, all right, welcome. What do you need? Do you have any questions? Boom, boom, boom. Bring your food. Leave. Bring your food. If you have any questions, I'll talk to you. If you start a conversation with me, I'll talk back. But mostly, I'm just going to leave you alone. And I think most people appreciate that. I'm going to be honest with you. Overall, it's easier for me, and it makes it easier for me to keep an eye on more tables. But I think people appreciate it. And if I average out my tips and stuff, I think people appreciate it. overall. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I think I do a pretty good job. Also, I don't like when people are pushy. You know, the server is trying to like push stuff on you. Oh, you should try this, you should try that. No, just wait. Let the menu do its job. Let the menu do its job. If they have questions, they can ask you, and then you give them an honest opinion. That I always do. When I love it when people ask me, for example, about IPAs. I'm not a big IPA guy, right? I hate IPAs. So my answer is always the same. It's like, oh, what do you think about this IPA? Like, honestly, I'm not a big IPA guy. However, it's very popular, or most popular one is this, or clients have said this. It's an honest answer, and I think people appreciate it. And you tell them the truth. I just tell them the truth. I'm not an IPA guy. I don't appreciate it. But you try to guide them, and you try to point them in the right direction, Or just ask them, oh, do you want something fruity? Do you want something that's more hoppy? Stuff like that. Anyway, I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Oh, so, yeah. Going back to the other stuff, it's probably going to be reduced hours in most places. I think we're going to be closing like an hour earlier than before. So it's going to be very, very limited in comparison, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty safe. Like, I had my first to-go shift yesterday. First, I need to say this. I need to clarify. I like the whole mask wearing thing because I wear a bandana and it makes me feel like a cowboy, like a bandito. So I really enjoy that. I enjoy going to Costco, wearing wherever the fuck I want, and being able to, to feel like, I could rob this place if I wanted to. I enjoy that. I enjoy that type of stuff. I enjoy cosplay, so wearing a mask, pretty cool, especially because I'm not wearing the dorky surgical mask. I'm wearing like a bandana. Actually, I have a pretty cool bandana. It's got like military camo and like a predator printed on it in black, so it's kind of camoed into the camo. It's really cool. I like it. I got it from Loot Crate. Love the thing. And so it's like, this is the perfect opportunity to wear it and people can't judge me. So a whole shift wearing a bandana sounds great for me. Gloves is where I have an issue. Not have an issue. I had an issue because, all right, people felt kind of weird when I approached them without gloves. You could tell they gave you like a look like, he's not wearing gloves. But it's like, dude, I'm not touching your food. I'm touching a box. And first off, it doesn't really transmit that way. At least that's what the CDC is saying. You don't have to worry about that. But it's like, yeah, my hands are fine. I grab a box, I bring it to you, and then you give me a card. I put it in the system where you give me money, and I give it back, and then I wash my hands. So my hands are always clean because every single time I touch money, I wash my hands. Also, I have a thing about washing my hands. It's a problem. But so to me, it's been pretty safe, and I also kind of enjoy making people have that look in their face, like I want to say something, but I'm not sure if I can't. Is it really bad? I don't know. He's just touching a box. It's funny for me. I enjoy that type of stuff. And fun fact, wearing gloves is actually dirtier than not wearing gloves because the gloves are protecting my hands. And so I don't really know if they're dirty or not. So let's say I wear gloves and I touch money, and then I don't feel like my hands are dirty anymore, so I'm not going to wash them. And so next, I'm going to grab your box, which had touched the money, and then I'm going to give you the box, and somebody else is going to give me money, and then so on and so forth. And I'm not going to be washing the gloves because I don't feel like my hands are dirty. So actually, I believe that unless you're cooking or something, gloves are counterproductive. The mask is fine because it prevents me from breathing on your food, per se. Prevents me from breathing on your car. Prevents me from breathing on your money, on anything. And this is supposedly an airborne disease. It's not really about the hands. It's about what you breathe. So don't attack people if they're not wearing gloves. That's all I'm saying. All right? Don't do it. It's actually better for you if we don't wear gloves. At least that's my humble opinion outside of the kitchen. Who knows? I don't know how you feel about it. Whatever. That's my take on it. So that's how things are probably going to be looking from now on. Honestly, it sounds pretty safe. I was pretty comfortable during my whole shift. I didn't really feel like there was anybody that got too close. Most people are wearing masks. Most people are respectful. Most people are actually being pretty careful, and they're pretty cool about it. So feel comfortable to hit up a restaurant. Honestly, I know that I feel pretty comfortable. Like honestly, after one shift and hearing all the stuff that we're doing, I'm like, yeah, this actually sounds pretty cool. Even for if somebody who's paranoid, like, all right, okay, I'm gonna have my space. I'm gonna know exactly where. Also, there's not gonna be any tables. No tables are gonna have setups. You know how usually when you go to a restaurant, they already have, let's say, silverware or a plate or whatever. That's not gonna be happening anymore. They're gonna be brought to you as soon as you get there, so they're gonna be kept separate, and only one person is gonna be touching the silverware. Only one person is gonna be touching the plate. Everything's gonna be individual as soon as it's used. Well, I mean, certain things get washed immediately. Let's say, for example, the parms and cheeses now, instead of having like a shaker with it, it's going to be individual containers. So honestly, things are sounding pretty safe. It's a lot more work for sure, but we're doing our part to make people feel more comfortable, to follow rules and regulations. So if you were curious about how it's going to look for a while, that's how it's going to look for a while. And this is honestly, I know that I'm biased because I work in a restaurant, but you should feel comfortable going. Honestly, it felt great yesterday. I can't tell you how excited I was to go to work, which is insanity. I know, it's madness. But yeah, yesterday after the meeting and everything, I did all my regular stuff, and I know that I was in a rush. So I was like, all right, okay, I gotta finish out. Actually, I already done the podcast before, but it's like Mondays I'm usually a little bit late on my workout because I have to feed my snake. I buy a rat for my snake on Mondays because that's when they get delivered. And she's kind of a little bitch, and always it takes her an hour to decide, all right, now I want to eat the rat. It's a huge pain in the butt. The Nile monitor, you put something in his area, he kills it immediately. The snake is like, I don't know. I don't know how hungry I am. I don't know. It's really annoying. However, so I was delayed for an hour, and then that's when that I did my workout. And afterwards, as I was showering to go to work and I'm getting ready, I'm like, this feels great. Honestly, this was getting ready in the afternoon to go back to work at the restaurant feels great. Back to normal. It's like it did. I don't know. It made me feel good. Honestly, it made me feel good. It was probably a bad idea to do leg day and then go to the restaurant because I was going to be walking around a lot, and that's one of the reasons why I was so tired today. Also, because my allergies were driving me crazy, so I just passed out. I passed out for a really long time. My legs were killing me, and I couldn't breathe. Bad combo. But but overall, it felt really nice. Honestly, I'm actually excited for the future. I'm looking forward to things going back to normal. I may go surfing tomorrow. Who knows? It all depends on if my friend who's the one who's teaching me how to surf will be available. But I'm feeling good. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty comfortable with the way things are going. I'm looking forward to what tomorrow brings. Hopefully you do too. And if you have any more questions about this, hit me up. Like I don't know everything about everything, but I know a little. And if not, I like being asked questions because sometimes it pushes me to find out more information. So, as always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram or at @SuperDarioPeriodWorld. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.